Hello, we are the geeks and the degenerates, and today, since
We're
it
gonna cut
is
you like a pig. Dude. I
that's
wish we
a,
had that voice changing thing. That thing was so cool in the movie.
that's a violent intro, but yeah, since it's spooky month, we decided that we'll kick off this month with a few slashers, starting with, well, if you've seen the title and the thumbnail, the original Scream, 1996 movie directed by Wes Craven, starring Nev Campbell, Courtney Cox, Matthew Lillard, David Arquette, and Drew Barrymore for a bit.
Tiny bit of Drew Barrymore.
Yeah,
He's on the poster.
Yeah, the funny thing about that, right, is that all of the marketing and the commercials and everything for the original Scream movie was showing Drew Barrymore. It was all focused around Drew Barrymore, and like people didn't even know that like Neve Campbell was in the movie. And so people went to the movie to see Drew Barrymore because she was huge during the time this was made. I believe 99 or something.
Yeah,
And
96.
yeah, 96.
and 96, yeah. And Drew Barrymore was huge at the time, and so she was the big draw. And she was in the movie for like 5 minutes in the beginning and gets killed. So it's like a gotcha from the producers of the movie.
Psych!
Yeah. And like, well, you already know who these people are as my co-host Forever John and our Star Wars specialist, that's every movie specialist, Hazel.
Who knows? We might be our new slasher specialists.
Yeah, who knows.
Oh, I don't know about slasher specialists, but I mean, I like me some horror.
Yeah.
You see Hazel like tucking in that box of knives underneath her desk.
Yeah. But like, well, you already mentioned that, like, in the beginning, that Casey, played by Drew Barrymore, is killed, and so is her boyfriend. You're like, I guess that's the end of Drew Barrymore.
This was a really cool scene, I gotta say. A really good opening.
Yeah.
Probably my favorite part of the entire movie was the beginning.
Yeah. And like, with her death, enters a new slasher villain into the stage named Ghostface. What makes Ghostface so interesting for me, at least, is that anybody could be Ghostface.
Wasn't that like the whole concept of Ghostface?
Yeah.
Like as the other Scream movie goes on, it's just another dude who idolized the serial killer and just wanted to do what he did.
Yeah, but aside from that, like in real life, anyone could be Ghostface. Like someone's passion for horror movies takes it too far and he becomes a psycho, or anyone can put on the mask and start killing people. Like other slashers, like Michael Myers, he's supernatural. Like I don't know anyone who can take 2 slugs to the chest and still walk away just fine.
Okay, I can see where the concept is coming from. Like, there can't be another Jason. There can't be another Michael Myers because these things were like a being of their own. While
Yeah.
Ghostface kind of represented like any psychopath that just watched too many movies.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
so,
What? It's her job.
you already
Yeah,
have the
I mean-
mask.
That really was the point of the Ghostface killer, was that he or she could be anyone, right? Ghostface could be anyone. And the movie did a really good job of like throwing your attention on certain people that obviously weren't the killers, right? Like
Yeah.
things that were suspicious, or that they said or did, or they weren't there at a certain time. The movie purposefully tried to make you think that literally any one of these people you've seen is the killer.
Yeah, especially like the dad, the boyfriend at one point, the dude who works at that the VHS store. Like,
Yeah.
we really thought like it could be any of these guys, anyone with a motive.
Yeah. And like after
Well, there was
Casey,
no motive.
after Casey is killed, like we're introduced to Sidney Prescott, who's played by Neve Campbell, and like John's Scream Queen is Jamie Lee Curtis, and mine is Neve Campbell. And like just like almost like Laurie Strode, she is human. She's a normal human being, but she has a traumatic past where her mom was killed, and the way she was killed is why she's not having sex with her boyfriend. She's like, no, I'm not ready for that.
Hmm. She has a little bit of trauma. Her boyfriend kind of is iffed about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, asshole, hold on. Dude's like, man, your mom was killed last year. Why can't you just move on?
Like, the way she was killed, you really wanted to move on from that?
Like, oh, my mom and dad, when they separated, I moved on. Yeah, but they're still alive,
Right?
asshole.
Interesting last name too, Loomis. Like, oh, I see where you're going with this. Nice Easter
Yeah.
egg. It's like a ton
Yeah,
of
right.
nice Easter eggs, like the
Mhm.
janitor when the Freddy Krueger sweater would. What were your thoughts on Sidney Prescott, Hazel?
She brought something different to horror films. And I like how like they made her say in the movie, you know, like she's not. It was something along the lines of mocking other horror movies. Some big boob bimbo running up the stairs when should be running out the front
The
door.
front door.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that line.
Yeah, yeah.
And you got, like, at the part where she does get chased, like her first time encountering Ghostface,
Yeah.
she was a competent survivor. She was kicking his ass.
Yeah.
And she was blocking the door and using another door to, like, stop it. I was like, that's legitimately smart. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, she is definitely capable. And like, you see when the first time Ghostface attacks her, like, your tension's already up because you're like, oh shit, he already killed Drew Barrymore's character. Who can be next? Anyone can be next at this point.
And especially the, like, okay, in my opinion, it's my opinion,
Yeah.
I don't like Ghostface. Man, it's just another Patrick Bateman dweeb nerd dude who just wants to kill people. And I was like, okay, cool. But how he kills them with the whole gore and stuff and what he did to Drew Barrymore, that shit was sick.
Yeah.
Not in a psychopathic sense. I mean, like, good job on the director. That part was really cool. Like, I like how he killed his victims.
I find it hilarious that he can easily be abated from, like, when you like slam a door in his face, he's like, oh fuck.
You just hear like a cartoon just bang.
He's like, oh fuck me. But yeah, I don't know what Deputy Dewey was thinking when he shows up the front door with the Ghostface mask. This is not Ghostface, by the way, obviously.
I thought you had. Okay,
No. But he shows up and she screams and he screams. She's like, I'm sorry.
yeah,
My bad.
wait. That's so odd. Why was he holding up the mask at the front door?
Yeah. But yeah, like the school gets paranoid of like who did what, and even her friends are like, could you have done it? No, you couldn't have because you're a woman. It's like, excuse me?
Whoa. Which I think was another plot point
Yeah.
along the Scream movie that they're like one of the killer was a girl.
Yeah, I forgot which one that was.
I don't know if it was the second one or the third one.
Yeah. And then you also find out that Gail Weathers, who's played by Courtney Cox, is writing a book about the investigation on Sydney's mom's murderer, who's played by Liev Schreiber, if you didn't notice.
Oh no, I didn't.
Yeah, like I paused. I'm like, I think I know that guy.
Ah shit. Okay.
Yeah. But things get on a rocky start when she and Sydney meet up again, and she like just decks her in the face. We're like, oh, okay.
Oh, how's the book going? Oh, I'll send you a copy. Oh, thanks. Bam! I'm like, oh, fuck. That shit was cold. I like that part. I like this character. I really do.
Yeah. And like you also meet Randy, who is this other movie obsessed, horror obsessed nerd. You're like, oh, okay, he's kind of cool.
Oh wait, was Randy
He's the VHS
Shaggy?
guy.
Oh, okay, never mind.
No, Shaggy's the other killer later down the line that you find out.
Nah, spoilers, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, this movie was made in the 90s, so too bad, I guess.
Yeah, you better have watched it.
Right?
But, I don't know. This movie was fun though. This movie is legitimately fun because these guys are all nerds.
Yeah.
They're all cinephiles or mostly just slasher fanboys. And I don't know, it kind of sounds like us, but way more annoying.
Yeah, they're also taking apart other horror movies, like commentary on like how other horror movies work. Or like, I like this.
Hmm. And I was like, man, calm the fuck down. Like, remember that scene where him and Shaggy from Scooby Doo were in the VHS store,
Yeah,
and then the guy's just screaming his head off? I'm like, calm down. God.
yeah,
You taking this whole horror movie thing too seriously?
yeah. But thankfully, Sadie has her friend, Tatum.
Tracy? Tatum. Okay.
Yeah, I like Rose. No, that's the actress's name. No,
Right.
Tatum. To comfort her and just keep her company along the way. But like everything comes to head when they're invited to a party, and Sydney is at first reluctant because she's afraid that Billy will also be there.
Okay, question. I don't study in the States, so is this a thing usually? When something horrible happens in a town, do just the village idiots just start dressing up as that traumatic thing that's happening to the town and causing havoc for the rest of the other people who are traumatized by that thing? Like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know.
No.
What are your thoughts on that one?
I mean, not really. I mean,
Okay.
you get people that go crazy for like things that you wouldn't think people do. Like for example, like high-profile killers, right?
Mm.
When they go to prison, they get tons of like love letters and marriage proposals and stuff. Like, there's people out there that do some crazy shit.
They get love letters for that? That's so odd. What the fuck?
That is odd.
Man, when there's a serial killer here, we're just like, hope he rots in the grave.
Right? Interesting. Look at other cultures, I guess. But yeah, like the
I
two
guess so.
kids, you're like, it was just a prank, or like, this is more than just a prank.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, what the hell?
Yeah.
That wasn't cool.
And like, I really don't know why Ghostface kills the principal, unless he was using that as a diversion for the authorities.
Yeah, that was fun. I don't know, was it like just to avert our expectations of who's the killer? Like, because he was like scolding these two kids for dressing up as Ghostface and expelling them.
Yeah.
And I think the movie was kind of trying to push it. Was like, oh, it might be those kids, kind of deal.
Yeah.
Not pretty sure.
But yeah, everything comes ahead to this party in Randy's place where Officer Dewey and Gail Weathers are there to just survey the scene, and Gail Weathers there to do her reporting, while Billy and Sydney have the sex, and you're like, at least there's some healing, I guess.
Good for you.
Yeah,
I thought y'all broke up.
right?
But okay.
Like, I don't think Billy's the best match for you, but sure.
But throughout the entire man, I hated Billy's face. I'm sorry. Handsome dude, very handsome guy. But every time I was like, are you okay? What do you mean? I'm not the killer. What are you talking about? I was like, man, blink!
Like, then why are you acting like him?
Right? I'm like, man.
I mean, you know, he was playing a character, right?
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, like, I was like, how am I suspicious? How am I suspicious? Do you still believe I'm the killer? I'm like, yes.
I would.
Very much so. Like the guy was fine, but it was just like, man, like, you would have gone to the jail at your first murder
Right.
by trying to act nonchalant.
Also, Sydney's dad is one of the suspects for the murders because he's out of town, but like there's
He
signs.
disappeared.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
disappears.
He didn't land. The last phone call was from his phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, the old days where the people would suspect you was like, why do you have a cellular phone? Well, today we have a phone everywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, as Randy and the rest of the crew are watching Halloween, like Stu sneaks off like, "Oh, where am I going?" You're like, "I think he's the killer," because there were like obvious signs like, yeah, it's definitely Stu. Like, but the first time I saw this, I didn't think it would be two people. But unfortunately, Tatum doesn't make it out of this because she's caught by Ghostface, and at first she's like, "Ah, you must be Randy." Nope. And then he starts slashing at her, but like as I said before, can easily beat Ghostface, I guess, by throwing hard stuff at him. Like she throws beer bottles and almost gets away.
Yeah. I do like those scenes though. Like I would say it's well choreographed.
Yeah.
Where she is competent enough to fight for like defend herself instead of like and that's what I like about this movie, where when it came to the main character or her best friend, they were both competent enough to fight back.
Yeah.
And sure, their like desperate action for escape kind of fucks them over for it. Like her getting trapped on the like cat door thing.
Yeah, her death is gnarly compared to the others. You're like, oh Jesus.
I don't think so, but okay.
Really? Being caught in a cat door? That's
Sure,
Final Destination.
That's horrible. Oh yeah, oh my god. That scene with the elevator. I hated elevators after that scene. No, but like you saw like Drew Barrymore, she was gutted and everything.
Well, that's true.
Oh, by the way, this was my first time watching this R-rated. Yeah, I never knew that there was a gut
Oh
scene.
yeah, because what? Because of Star. Well.
Yeah, like HBO and Star movies won't show that shit.
Right.
And this is my
right.
first. I was like, whoa. Okay, I can see why this is a classic now. Nobody would show that shit on TV. Cool.
I mean, I'm sure Hazel's seen it R-rated multiple times.
Yeah, for sure. I was too young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't born yet.
Yeah, I was only like 1. But.
Oh, no, I was 0. I was still in the sack.
Well, like when Billy gets murdered, you're like, I guess it really isn't him.
Oh, yeah, like after Tatum gets killed, they cut to the scene. Well, cool editing. Like,
Yeah.
They showed the sex scene from Halloween, or was it a sex scene? No, it wasn't.
Or is it they're just waiting for Jamie Lee Curtis to take off her shirt?
Yeah, take off her shirt. And then a sex scene with the main character and Billy.
Yeah.
Cool editing. But yeah, he gets killed, so I guess we could write him off.
Right? And then like everything goes wrong. Like, she tries to make it out, but like, Deputy Dewey investigates and he gets stabbed. And then like Gale Weathers almost crashes into her. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was an odd subplot where there was a
Yeah,
romance between.
you mentioned before about how you didn't think that there was going to be 2 killers. I really like that they did that.
Yeah.
Because then you see Billy get attacked by the killer, and so you're like, oh shit, well it can't be him.
Yeah, it can't be him.
Yeah.
And it also makes sense where, you know how in other horror movies or other slasher films, like he'll be coming one way, and then when the main character turns to the other corner, he's there too.
Yeah.
Which I think at the time was like, oh, that makes more sense if a serial killer or a slasher villain, there's actually 2 of them. That's why they could be like, in multiple places. Which was a really cool concept, because this was my first time, like, this is the first movie that I experienced that in. I was like,
Yeah.
that's actually smart.
It's like, it makes no sense when like you're running from Michael Myers and you turn the corner, you're like, how do you run so fast, sir?
Right? Or like he's at the door and then he busts through the wall. I'm like, that could only mean, there's 2 people.
Yeah.
Or more.
Yeah, and like going back a bit, like before Gale crashes the van, like Sydney's hiding with the cameraman. They're watching the video of Randy almost about to be killed. And he's like, kid, watch out! And he's like, wait, there's a 15-second delay. Fuck.
30-second delay.
So 30-second delay.
Yeah, but at the same time, Randy's also doing like, turn around! While Ghostface is like right there.
Poor guy gets throat slash, and poor Randy, since Gail discovers the cameraman's body, she's freaking out, and like Randy just pops, is like, "Hey, can I help you?" And she just bashes him with a phone, like, "Oh, poor Randy."
And mind you, phones in the 90s were heavy.
Oh yeah, yeah, like those bricks people would carry around. Like, what the fuck is that supposed to be?
You could start a rebellion with a phone,
Oh,
tossing it out a
definitely.
window.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, Cindy makes it back to the house, and unfortunately, Deputy Dewey is stabbed, and like she's with Stu and Randy, and she lets Randy back in because they're like, "It's him! No, it was him!" And they're like, "I don't trust any of y'all. Goodbye."
Again, smart move from the girl.
Yeah,
Like, nah, I don't care. Fuck you guys.
yeah,
Because I would have done the same thing, to be honest.
yeah. And then Billy pretends to be injured, and he slumps, and he's limping, and then Randy comes in, and then Sidney gives the gun to him, but he shoots Randy, and like, oh, I guess he is the killer. And then Stu
Yeah.
reveals that like, no, there's two of us.
Yeah. And, like, the blood that was on Billy was fake. I was like, damn, again, damn. This movie was ahead of its time. Like, these are
Yeah,
very
it was really
smart.
clever.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I was like, you know what? If they just were competent enough, they could have gotten away with it. If they weren't such cinephiles, where they're like, we need a second movie. I'm like, they could have gotten away with it.
Like when Billy's like, oh, this is corn syrup, same stuff they used in Carrie. I'm like, maybe I'm starting to realize why John isn't like Ready Player One. But no, like like it's an interesting concept of like, you think there's just one killer, but there's actually two. Like, huh, what's crazy?
And dude, the scene where they bring out the dad, they have what's her name, the main character.
Sydney.
I keep forgetting. Sorry, Sydney. They
Yeah.
have Sydney at gunpoint. Oh, sorry, at knife point. And they're pretty much telling their entire plan that they're just fans. They're fanatics.
Yeah,
A little bit. They have a screw loose, but like, yeah.
but Billy's
And they
motive.
start.
Sorry,
Sorry.
Billy's motive is like her mom. She went to his dad, and that's why his mom left, and that's why he killed her mom. Like, all right, that does make sense. That's not that would be viable of why you would go in bad shit.
Right. Did they explain he's the killer of the mom?
Yeah, they did.
Okay. I completely missed that one.
Hmm.
Because it was overshadowed with the scene of them trying to make it look like they were victims
Yeah,
instead of the killer, where they started stabbing each other.
Yeah.
I was like, this is a messed up scene. And then Billy goes a little too far with Stu. I was like, this is giving me like hella anxiety. He's like, man, I think you went too far. I think I'm dying. I'm like, oh fuck. I don't like this scene. It's
Right.
pretty good.
yeah. And then, since they were distracted, a student noticed that someone took his gun, and it's Gail Weathers, who's still alive.
Hmm.
But she doesn't have the safety on, which is her big mistake.
Yeah, well, I say I give that one a pass. Not a lot of people know how to work a safety on a gun. Everybody knows how to shoot a gun.
Yeah. But like, give Sydney time to get the mask and her dad to hide in the closet while they look for her. And it's cool too, because once she opens the closet, she stabs him with the umbrella. You're like, fuck yeah.
Were umbrellas sharp before?
I wouldn't know. I mean, they had the thing covering their ends, so maybe.
Yeah. I mean, have you seen that one video of that anime called Another? No, where the girl.
No, I don't wanna-
It's like Final Destination, the anime,
I've seen it, but like, I don't want to remember it, sir.
where the girl like falls on the umbrella, throat first.
Why do you have to remind me of these things? But yeah, she gets attacked by Stu, and he kind of has the upper advantage until she smashes a vase on his head and then drops the TV on him. Like
Cool
if
kill. Cool kill.
like if the weight doesn't kill you, the electricity certainly will.
But I could have sworn CRT TVs had like bulletproof. I'm over exaggerating, but like bulletproof screens. Like no matter how hard you hit that thing, it's not gonna break. Especially if you just drop it on somebody's head.
Suspension of disbelief.
I guess, but it was a cool thing.
Yeah, yeah. And then she finds out that Randy's still alive, but she's attacked by Billy one more time. As she digs her fingers into his stab wounds, which is a smart move, but he's about to stab her and he gets shot by Gail Weathers. Like, alright.
Yeah. They had that really cool scene where Randy's like going off again. It was like, oh, this is the point where the killer has one final scare, which he does. Stupid move. And then Sydney just shoots him in the head. I was like, nice.
Not my movie.
Not my movie. And I was like, that was cool. This is a fun movie.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know about you guys, but I really do love the play on the horror movie genre. Like this was a horror movie on its own, but at the same time, like a satire of it,
Yeah.
where they would point out the tropes, they would go against the trope, and I was like, yeah, I can see why this is a classic.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, what was the like one of the scenes that you liked the most about this movie?
Honestly, it's just the ending sequence. But
Really?
not my movie.
Oh, how about you, Hazel?
What was the question?
What were your like favorite scenes from this movie? Because oddly enough, this was a very smart movie.
Mm-hmm.
It was. I guess in general, like I had mentioned before, like the disinformation that they would give you, or like they would lead you purposefully the wrong way to look at a different person, how like anyone could be the killer, but like the way that they edited those shots, like looking at a person while they're talking about something, or just like the little subtleties.
Where the camera would just stay on a character for too long.
Yeah, like just the subtleties that like you would pick up in the back of your mind. I really liked those, and especially like you had mentioned, John, the very beginning scene with Drew Barrymore.
No,
That was
gutting.
yeah, just like the whole setup and everything. It was really unique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also a little bit tragic, because like the parents were just right there. It was like she can't scream because her throat was stabbed. I was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
it was a good start.
Yeah. And like again, the fact that you promoted essentially Drew Barrymore as a star and was like, we're just kidding. It's actually Nev Campbell.
Psych! Right?
Yeah, they really made people believe that she was like the lead character.
She's on the poster, like the Scream poster has her like looking like the main character.
Yeah.
Huh.
But yeah, it's nice to know that these characters have come back for the sequels. Well, I haven't seen the new one, so I don't know what happens to them. But I hear good things about the new one.
I haven't seen it yet. Are we gonna do a review on that sometime soon?
Probably closer when the other sequel to that one comes out next year.
Yeah, I saw the sequel kind of recently, I think.
Okay.
Okay.
So wait, so the other movies aren't canon?
I would think so. Cause
Yeah, they are.
They are. Okay.
Yeah, every Scream movie that came out is canon in that universe.
I thought they were doing like a Halloween thing where the first movie, that's where they left off.
Like, if I remember correctly, none of the Scream movies have gone off their rockers as like Halloween or other
Jason.
slashers. Yeah.
I mean, Jason went to space.
But yeah, before we go on a tangent of like how bad some of the other slashers went to be, like, what would you rate this movie?
But I won't say it's the most scariest thing I've seen. It is very smart. I will give it that. What Hazel has mentioned, where they would like push you towards another suspect, to another person, and you would like start to not trust anybody in the room.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't know any of you guys. You might be the killer. I love that whole concept. This is my first time being exposed to like, oh, there's more than one killer.
Yeah.
And I was like, again, very smart. It is somewhat of a satire, or yeah, a satire of horror movies. Like, these tropes were overplayed, overdone. Here, we're not doing that. And averting our expectations. But yeah, this movie is very smart. I can't really say it's the scariest. Ghostface is not that scary for me. But I guess the scariest concept of him is that he could be anybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll give this one a solid 7 out of 10.
I'll give this an 8. Like, it's smartly written and the characters are enduring, and the fact that again they'll still go on until this day, till the 2022 version says how enduring these characters are and how smartly written they are. And like I think unfortunately Nev Campbell's not coming back for next year's, so that's a bummer.
Oh,
But yeah,
yeah, I mean,
and like the horror side of me is like I do like the kills and how they were handled here. And Ghostface, even though he's not scary like say Michael Myers or Leatherface, he's still a very, like, when he's chasing people, you're still like, oh, please get away, please run. So
because he runs. He's not just walking.
Yeah,
This man's on a full sprint.
yeah. There's no slow walking on like Michael Myers. But yeah, 8 out of 10. Pretty good movie. This is why it's a classic. How about you, Hazel?
I remember seeing this when it came out. I might have even seen it in theaters. I can't remember. But I still have like the feeling from back then, like from my, I don't know if it might have been my exactly first first time watching it, but just the overall feel in that era when this came out. And this was something that we never got before in horror movies. It was an intelligent horror movie. It actually made you think. There wasn't some sort of design that you could see in the movie. You didn't know where it was going. You couldn't say, oh yeah, you know, then the killer will pop out here and they'll do this and blah blah. You couldn't predict it. And the fact that they threw 2 killers at you in a twist at the end, just it was insane. It was, for the time, it was probably as far as like the technicality, it was probably the best horror movie up to that point. I think it was a great movie, and I love Wes Craven. He's great. So I'll give this an 8 out of 10. It's a really solid movie in the horror genre. I wouldn't call it a horror movie itself, but a movie in that genre.
Yeah. But yeah, that's been our video for the original Scream. What do you guys think? Who's your favorite horror villain? Please comment down below, it'd be cool. And if you want to see more of us, we do have a facebook.com/geeks. Sorry.
Ends up having a stroke mid-outro.
Like, all our outros have been smooth so far, so once in a while it happens. But yeah, facebook.com/geeks.
He's still fucking up.
And those having a stroke. Shut up.
You can find us on Facebook under the same name. We react to trailers, we stream video games. Also, if you want to find more of us here on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and ding the bell icon to get notified of when we upload next. We also have a Spotify podcast, so if you want to hear us, damn it, on the road, please find us there. We also have a TikTok. How do you guys?
You can find me at JumpGeom_ on Instagram. It is my. How about you, Hazel?
Oh shit. Sapphire Hazel and the number 7 for IG and Twitter, and then just Sapphire Hazel for YouTube and Twitch.
But- Anything else?
Yeah, you forgot to add your new social media handle, Enzo, at 911.
Ah, damn it. But yeah, individually,
Victim 1911.
if you want to find me individually, not having a stroke all the time, it's at Yandalfa95 on IG and Twitter. But yeah, that's all the time we have for this video. At least expect more spooky stuff.
I don't know if this might be Enzo's last.
Yeah.
So leave a like, subscribe,
In remembrance, sure.
to be notified if he does make it.
Yeah, you're gonna want to hit that little bell, get all the notifications, make sure that Enzo's still alive.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all the time we have for this video. At least we'll see you on the next one. Bye, everybody.
Yeah. That's gonna be on TikTok.
Bye.
Yeah, fuck.